is fighting the tiger tonight. It's a full moon in the sky. Such a moonlit night is suitable for a hungry tiger to go down the hill, and such a moonlit night is more suitable for a hero to walk alone. The moonlight is boundless, and the immensity of the vast background formed by the moonlight extends. Oerlang's moonlit night is today's moonlit night. The village is empty, and the threshing field is crowded with people. We all know that the storyteller is coming soon, and the hanging eye, white forehead big animal and Oerlang went to Jingyang Ridge along different roads. A dragon bears rain, and a tiger bears wind. We heard it all, and the wind was alive. This masculine and immense wind has sounded for 1,000 years. The story desk is empty under the moonlight. The storyteller is coming soon. He's about to stand in front of the story desk and let Wusong meet the tiger. His white beard gives his words backgrounds. His teeth must be good, because every word is chewy. The white-bearded old man's fighting the tiger is crispy and bright, and he must have drunk the liquor perfectly. The liquor makes him Wusong, or it could be said that the liquor makes him a hungry tiger. He stares at himself coldly, and the issue between Oerlang and tiger begins quietly. You can't tell the winner. When the storyteller talks about Wusong, his spirit conquers the mountains. When he talks about the tiger, he's full of energy. He doesn't let anyone lose. Wusong and the tiger alternately dominate, and the whole moonlit night is muddied by his Yangzhou dialect with dirt, broken branches, and messed grass everywhere. Finally, the storyteller's liquor power surges, entirely relies on the 18 bowls of peer meeting sand, and the storyteller loudly shouts. This shout is the echo of Oerlang's call after 1,000 years. The storyteller raises his fist. This pose is Oerlang's figure under the moon 1,000 years later. Dang, dang, dang! Wusong just beats it. After 70 punches, the big animal stops moving, and the blood bursts out of his mouth, nose, and ears. He can't move anymore, only breathes in his mouth. Everyone on the threshing field don't dare to breathe, and their mouths open together. The storyteller is silent, and fine sweats on his bald forehead. The storyteller spreads his 5 fingers and smooths his beard. Then he exhales, and we exhale with him. The moon is still that moon, and the star is still that star. Wusong stands up with rolling drunk. The heroic spirit of Erye is everywhere in the vast celestial body. This heroic spirit reclines the fall night, and the slender dusts don't move in the moonlight, or there's no dust in the massive world. However, the storyteller was late. Wusong held the god bat in his hand, and he was late to Jingyang Ridge. We waited too long. The people who went looking for him had been there 3 times and answered the same thing, saying that the empty liquor flask was still there, but no body. People sitting on the threshing field began to worry. Hassan's neighbor, the 4th aunt, stood up, looked around, and said loudly, "Why? Why? Storyteller, why did you?" These words were chewy and heavy. Every ear heard it between the lines. The threshing field calmed down, and the 4th aunt's face looked innocent in the moonlight, as if she didn't know what she had said. Hassan's wife was sitting in the crowd. People noticed that the moonlight on her face had changed the color and turned green. and several small green snakes crawled over. Asan's wife screamed suddenly, "Smelly bitch!" Asan's wife pointed her fingertips at the fourth aunt and sighed loudly, "Smelly bitch!" The fourth aunt was very composed. She knew where the captain was sitting. She turned her face to that direction and whispered in a confused voice, "Who is the smelly bitch?" There was a roar of laughter in the threshing field, and the tiger came down the mountain in this roar of laughter. The tiger stretched out his arms and pounced towards the fourth aunt. The fourth aunt dodged behind the tiger. For the tiger to look at people from behind was the hardest. It roared like a thunderbolt in the noon. When the fourth aunt was stunned, the tiger grabbed her hair. It turned out that the fierce tiger capturing people was just a pounce, a roar, and a pull. Asan's wife held the fourth aunt's hair tightly, slapped her, and shouted, "Tear in your mouth!" The fourth aunt was a little flustered and kept saying, "Tigress, show it tiger, tigress, show it tiger." The threshing field was in chaos. The captain's wife came up from behind to kill, raised her fist and hit Asan's wife on her back. While beating, she said, "Beat, beat, beat! Kill your tigress!" The captain's wife's involvement complicated the situation. This was equivalent to say that she acquiesced to an important fact, a potential fact. The captain pulled down his long face. The people yielded and left an empty space, leaving only the captain in the middle. The captain's face was a bit like the hanging eyes with wide forehead. The captain pulled away his wife and said sharply, "How many times have I said, don't mind other things. Don't interfere with my leadership work. You guys don't fight." The captain's wife spitted and said, "You're just being hard outside. You are a hanging animal at home." The captain slapped his wife and ordered, "Go back." The captain's wife immediately replied, "You go back. You go to the little bitch's hole." The bald head of the storyteller surfaced the next morning. He drowned under the wooden bridge next to the threshing field. His white beard waved on the surface of the water, and many small fish were being up and down among his fingers. The common view was that he drank too much and fell into the river when he crossed the bridge. This statement was suspicious. With so many people on the threshing field, it shouldn't be inaudible when he fell. He was not a gust of wind. Imaginative explanations came into being, said that the storyteller must have drunk too much, so mistakenly considered himself as Usong. When he crossed the bridge, he saw the full moon in the water, thought it was the big animal's forehead, and went ahead. This argument certainly made sense, but it was too delicate, so it was always a bit far from the truth. There were only 2 points for certain. One is that he drank too much, as evidenced by his empty flask. Second, he died, as evidenced by his corpse. These 2 points can lead to another point. Usong lifted the guard bed but did not go up to the hill. He did not meet the big animal, that is, he did not fight the tiger. In this sense, if Usong did not fight the tiger, Usong actually did not exist. This heroic legend is a myth. At least it can be thought that Usong has drowned in a small water ditch in Shisbridge Village, Daying Township, Xinhua County, Yangzhou Prefecture.